Corduroy Bear for Mr. Dominic and Miss Mia's bedtime story. I am so excited because we have a mystery reader with us tonight.
Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for someone to come along and take him home.
Take me home, take me home, take me home, 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 home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl, I think her name was Mia, stopped by and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, this is the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've already spent too much money. Besides, he doesn't look all that new. He's already lost a button to one of his shoulder straps." "But, Mom, hey, I want Corduroy."
Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." See his missing gone? A button missing?
So, that evening, when all the shoppers had gone home and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed very carefully down from his shelf so he wouldn't fall. And he began searching everywhere on that floor for his lost button. Where could it be? Where?
Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered? I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain.
So he gets to the top, and he stopped off the escalator, and as he reached to the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was this most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and lions and tigers and bears and rows of beds. This must be a palace, Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. This is awesome."
He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed. I've always wanted to sleep in a bed," and he crawled up onto the large, thick mattress. "This looks like Dominic and Mia's beds." All at once, he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight.
Get the button off! Well, finally, he yanked it, and he pulled it with both paws, and pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress, Corduroy toppled onto the floor, and he banged into this tall floor lamp, and over it fell with a big crash. Boom!
Corduroy didn't know, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman, Dominic, was going his rounds around the floor. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator.
Oh, my
"Now,
goodness.
who in the world did that?" Dominic said. "Someone must be hiding around here."
Who could it be? Who could it be? I wonder. Well, he flashed his light under and over the sofas and the beds until he came to this biggest bed of all, and there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. "Hello," he said. Dominic said, How? How did you get upstairs here, young man?"
Then Dominic tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with all the other animals and dolls.
Home at last, I think. Well, Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into that store in the morning, and there, looking at him with this wide, warm smile, was this little girl named Mia. He had only seen her the day before. "Well," Mia said, "you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted all of my money that I saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could come and bring it home, and I could buy you and take you to my house."
"Shall I put him in a box for you?" the saleslady said. "Oh, no thank you," Mia answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of the stairs into her family's house and straight into her own room.
Her very own newly painted room. And Corduroy blinked once he got there. There was this chair and his chest of drawers. Alongside little Mia's bed stood another little bed just right for the size of him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace that he was in the department store. But you know what he said? This must be home. And I've always wanted a home. So little Mia sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew him on a new button on his overalls. I like you the way you are, she said, but you're even going to be more comfortable with this shoulder strap fastened.
You must be a friend, said Corduroy. I've always wanted a friend. Me too, said Mia, and she gave him a big hug. The end.
Good night, Mr. Dominic. Good night, Miss Mia. We love you and Corduroy.
Night, night.